Hey everybody, Jamie from the Marine Doctors YouTube channel, and the other day I messed up. Wasn't a bad repair or anything like that, but we had a couple force engines show up the one day, and a couple days later I worked on them and they were both fails. They were both catastrophic failures, I should say. One had aluminum on the spark plug, and the other one, I believe he overheated it and there was aluminum on the cylinder wall. So they were both fails. So I proceeded to go inside the shop and I made some phone calls to tell these guys that these engines were no good. Well, I got through to the one guy and told him, hey, this is what's going on. And, he's like, okay, where do we go from here? And I said, well, it's a force engine, so I would recommend that we just discard the engine and you try and find something used, or maybe we get you into a new engine. Okay, that was the one guy. Second guy, I couldn't get a hold of and couldn't leave a message, but hoping that he'd see my number on the phone, he would just call back and I could let him know what was going on with his engine. In the meantime, we got customers up at the front, the phone rings, there's noise in the background, and a guy phones up and he says, hey, my name is Jeff and how's my engine? Well, Jeff happened to be the same name as the guy I was trying to call. So it was, well, I got some bad news for you. You've got some aluminum on your spark plug and it's a catastrophic failure, and recommend not even repairing it. So he's like, oh, he's pretty devastated. Well, obviously, right? Especially when he said, yeah, I just like a tune-up. But it's funny now, but it wasn't then, believe me. It wasn't then. It ends well. Anyway, so we give him the news, and we don't see the guy for a couple weeks, and then there's this boat sitting in the yard, and my son comes up to me the one day and he says, where the hell's this guy? How come this guy hasn't come pick up his boat? I rushed to get it done for him and he's nowhere to be found. So a couple days later, this guy stumbles in and he says he wants to sit down for financing so that he can buy himself a new engine for his boat. And we're like looking at this guy going, what? Why? It was running fine. We expected you a couple of weeks ago to pick this thing up because you were in a hurry for it. And he says, yeah, but when I phoned you told me it was no good, he says. And we're like, oh no. Oh, I apologize profusely. I felt really bad about the whole situation. And in the end, the guy's smile on his face was so big because he was so relieved that he didn't have to spend the money, that he actually thanked us and took one of our business cards, hopefully to do something positive with it. But I felt so bad. But it's just one of those days where maybe I should have stayed in bed, but if I stay in bed, I can't get stuff done for people and I can't get them out on the water. Oh, some days. Anyway, thanks for watching. I just thought I'd relay that story because sometimes things don't go as planned here. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.